better isn't always better. And that's what I want to talk about today, is that in life, what seems better to us isn't actually better than where we are right now. And this is just something that I've been thinking about, especially with regards to marriage. And I'm going into 3 years of being married now, and to give advice to anyone who is newly married, it's understanding that better isn't always better. We might think in the midst of arguments, we might think that in the midst of fighting, we might think that in the midst of disagreements that we made the wrong choice. But in life, anything worthwhile is hard to get. And to have a successful marriage is a marriage that has been through ups and downs, has been through reconciliation, has been through so many wars that have been survived by both parties. And that is what it means to have a good marriage. A good marriage isn't what you see in Hollywood TV shows, in these family TV shows where the husband and wife are always happy, where all these things are always happening. For me, it is the constant growing together through being together and living together. There's something I learned when I was doing a marriage course before I got married, was if you picture a triangle and you picture you and your partner at the bottom and God at the top, what we need to do in our marriages is get closer to God together, because what it does is the closer we get to God, the closer we get to each other. So the closer we get to God, the closer we get to each other. And that's the way I think of marriage, is it's constant work, but keeping God at the center and reminding ourselves that this life that we think was better when we were single, this life that we think will be better if we were with someone else, it's just a mirage. It's a lie. It's a lie from the enemy. It's a lie from the devil to make us think that there's a better life out there for us and that our partner isn't enough. But if you stay with someone long enough and you look at them long enough, you'll stay long enough to see the flaws and then eventually want something else. As humans, we always want something different. We're attracted to different things, but we need to understand where growth is where hard things are. Anything worthwhile getting is difficult. And think about it in terms of exercise and gym. If we see someone who's really strong and we don't exercise, we think, what is the easiest way for me to get there? And a lot of people will try different things. They'll jump into CrossFit, then they'll jump into gym. But the truth is, the only thing that's going to get them there is the hard work that they put in. So it's the same way with anything in life, where we think is the better solution, whatever we think is the better solution, there is no better solution. Where you are right now, whether it be the gym or CrossFit, is the best solution. And you just have to put the time in. You need to put the work in and the nurturing in. So I hope this helps anyone that's newly married or is in a relationship and they have these worries. And you look around at a lot of people, I look around at a lot of my friends who have been in and out of relationships. They're never satisfied, because the satisfaction only comes through playing the long game, through commitment, through being there even when you don't want to be there and you despise your partner. Because marriage is a mirror. Marriage is a mirror because you see your sides. What I found over the past 3 years is that it's holding up to me all the flaws about who I am, and that makes me uncomfortable. It makes me not want to confront that, but it's what I need to confront as a human. I need to look at those parts of myself in order to grow and become a better person. And the Bible does say, he who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. And why they receive favor from the Lord is because God puts a mirror of who you are in front of you and shows you the bad sides of you, and he exposes that to you so that you can change and you can become a better man, and you can grow and you can become a better husband. You can become better to your family, you can become better to your community, and it's just a great thing as a man, because it's no longer in the pursuit of things. Life becomes more about the pursuit of your character, the pursuit of becoming a better person. And a lot of men, I notice now that I'm married, are constantly just chasing women, constantly chasing lust. And for me, that side of me has completely died, because I have surrendered myself to my wife. I have submitted myself to my wife. I have given every part of who I am to her. I've chosen myself to be the provider and protector of her heart. And that has forced me to grow as an individual, to find different ways to grow, to become a better person, and to strip down the parts of me that aren't serving our relationship. And vice versa with her. She has to come to a point where she sees what I'm saying in certain arguments about her characters that is flawed, and God is showing a mirror to her saying, this needs to change about you. If you love this person so much, you will change. And in order to keep the love alive, in order to keep the love together, us and our partners need to be moving closer to God so that we can be closer to each other. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, what's better to us in our minds isn't always better than where we are. God has us right where we want to be, right where we need to be. And our brain will lie to us, telling us that there's better things out there and we're missing out. And it causes this FOMO inside of us that doesn't exist. Everyone is on their journey. Everyone has their flaws. And spend time long enough with anyone, you'll see a side of them that you don't like. You'll see a side of them that you despise. But our job is to work on each other, help each other. A relationship isn't just there for the good times, it's there for the bad times. And let's be realistic about the way we think about the world. Let's be better so that we can make our partners better. Let's be more like Christ so that we can inspire our partners to be more like Christ. And this doesn't just speak to marriage, it speaks to anything. That's just what's coming off the top of my head right now. And I'm trying to be real, I'm trying to be in the moment with my videos. And this is just authentic. I'm trying to give you what I've learned. And this is learning from application. My first 2 years of marriage were not easy. And I always thought of marriage as this picture perfect thing. And all other couples seem to have it together, but that's so fake. I'm so happy that it's real. And I'm so happy that I went through what I went through to understand that I needed to be stripped, and I need to constantly be stripped of things that I think are serving me, that I've built up my whole life. And my wife, through being a godly woman, can expose those things to me to make me a better man, and I can make her a better woman. So don't always think the destination where you're heading to is better than where you are. It can be with anything. Enjoy the thing you have now, whether it's a house, whether you're trying to move into the next big house, the big mansion, whether it's you're with your family and you want to move out of your house and live by yourself. Enjoy what you have now, because you don't understand the beauty of where you are now, and where you think you're going next sometimes isn't always better than where you are. Love your family, appreciate them. You know, you're not going to have your mom and dads forever, so just show them love, show them respect. It took me so long to get to a point where I bonded with my dad again. We had a rough relationship growing up, but for me, I got to a point where I was like, this needs to get better. Our relationship needs to get better. I'm going to tell him I love him. And it was so uncomfortable, it was so hard. I'm going to be the one to hug him. It was so uncomfortable, it was so hard, but it brought out a side in him, and I planted a seed in him that has allowed him to see more love in his life. And it all comes from the wound his father gave him, where he couldn't express these things, and we need to be the one to break those wounds. And we need to be the ones that stand upon God and do the things that are right in the midst of it feeling hard. Because better isn't always better. Where we think we want to be away from our parents isn't always the best. You know, don't rush to leave the house. Rather mend the relationships that are broken if they are broken. And this is just advice from someone living on earth, going through experiences and trying to get closer to God. And I hope this video touches someone today. I hope someone can resonate with what I'm saying. I apologize if I've gone in any loops, but once again, this is all coming from an authentic place and a love for God and a thirst to share how He's worked through my life, in the hopes that someone who's once where I was can see what I'm saying and resonate with it, and it can change their lives. So I love you guys. Have a beautiful Sunday and have a great evening.